For more on the tensions, I'm joined now by Mehmet Ozkan. He's a senior fellow with the Center for Global Policy. Mehmet, thanks so much for joining us. I want to first talk about the drilling and how the essentially unresolved status of a divided Cyprus has played into all of this.
I think it has played a big role because, as you know, in 2005, it was all. Both sides were very close to solve the Cyprus issue, and it went to referendum, but later on, it couldn't resolve. And European Union made the southern part of Cyprus as the representing the whole island as a member of the European Union. Then that complicated the issue. So what's happening? That's one issue. But at the same time, I think Libya issue is also complicating. You see a rivalry between France and Turkey. They are supporting Greece, and Greece is like playing in between. I think there's a huge geopolitical dimension. But I think the current situation, as it seems, it's not sustainable, for neither side. So I think the only thing will be a political solution. If I look at the Turkish domestic politics, I think everybody seems united. Nobody's discussing against Erdogan's policies. I think eventually, either negotiation will decide or the power will decide, because this is really an existential issue, especially in Turkey, as many people see it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, which is in Ankara, Erdogan isn't alone here. He seems to have bipartisan support on this. That's rather rare, isn't it?
Yeah, but especially in these issues, when things related to security and national issues, everybody unites behind Erdogan. That's one of the issues perhaps one of the few issues that many people, including military people and everybody, is behind Erdogan, and that will continue in this way. I don't think there will be any change. If you look at Turkish TVs today, most of the ex-army generals, they are the ones who are defending Erdogan's policy at forefront. So there is a huge unity behind this policy, because people see this issue as the national existential issue, as a national threat.
Realistically, how much pressure can the EU exert on Turkey, given its reliance on keeping some 4 million migrants there?
Look, I don't think so. European Union has lost lots of leverage over Turkey for last 5-10 years, especially since Arab Spring. But European Union has no role now in Turkey. Not only immigration issues, but on the other issues as well. Nobody takes the European Union seriously. But European Union, the fact that if European Union sides with Greece 100%, actually what's happening, European Union is putting two NATO members, two NATO allies in war. I think European Union in that sense should coordinate with NATO, and then they should try to find a negotiation on this table. Otherwise, taking side will not help. European has already lost lots of credibility in the region, and that will deteriorate its influence, in terms of impacting negatively if it continues siding with Greece.
I want to ask you, as somebody who studies Turkey, what is Erdogan's end game here? He's going up against Iran vis-a-vis Syria in the Middle East. He's butting heads with Brussels. His conversion of the Hagia Sophia into a mosque was condemned by Moscow. He's angered the Israelis by reportedly giving citizenship to members of Hamas. What is his larger strategy here? Where are his allies here?
Look, if you look at the neighbors of Turkey, there are lots of issues, from Libya to Syria to Eastern Mediterranean and many areas. And many of these issues has been seen as a national security issues. And once you define in that context, all the countries is allying behind you. That's one issue. That's the advantage of Erdogan. But at the same time, the Hagia Sophia issue is like a domestic political issue. If you go to polls today, perhaps 70-75% of Turks will support that issue. That unites both conservative and nationalist people in Turkey to support that cause. And once domestically he gets the legitimacy, now outside he's trying to use it. So what he wants, he wants to define the borders, especially maritime borders in Eastern Mediterranean, and wants to influence in politics in Libya. Russia is not playing, still, in some parts playing, some parts is not crashing with Turkey, but Turkey is ready, But what is the risk, if you ask me? There is a high risk of small extents in the region, especially in Eastern Mediterranean. But at the same time, we should never eliminate the escalation of the small fights, especially military small fights. That's highly possible if they cannot find a military solution, and Turkey would go for it and would not hesitate at any level. That's what I see in both domestic politics and at the same time, discourse coming from Turkey, both from military and all segments of the society.